What I will be talking about today is women in comedy. These women have set the standard for not only women in comedy, but just for comedy in general. Many of whom I look up to not just for their comedic careers, but for their philanthropic ventures and personal stories. The women I am about to tell you about are some of the funniest and greatest ladies we will ever know. Some words that come to mind when I think of these ladies are iconic, award-winning, trailblazers, legendary, powerful, and innovators. Betty White. The always iconic Betty White, one of the most recognizable and successful of her peers. She has the longest career as a female entertainer. She's known for The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Golden Girls, and Mama's Family. She's also one of the first women to have control not only in front of the camera as an actress, but behind the camera as a producer and a writer. She's the Jill with all trades. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was a well-known stand-up comedian. She was really well known for her dark sense of humor and for her willingness to go there. She was the first woman to host the Late Night Network. She hosted the Johnny Carson Show. And not only in her career was she a stand-up comedian, but she was a talk show host, a producer, and a writer. Before her death, she was on the show, the E! Show, Fashion Police, with Juliana Rancic. It was very, very interesting, the things she said. Lily Tomlin. An actress, a comedian, and a writer, and a singer, and a producer. She was on Broadway. She's also known for Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. That was on TV from 1969 to 1973. She also starred in Grace and Frankie, which is on Netflix started in 2015 to present day. She's also was the voice of Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. Pretty cool, I didn't know that. And she specializes in improvisational and observational comedy. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She is an SNL alum. This is a very common pattern with these ladies. A lot of them come from SNL. She's known for her TV shows, The New Adventures of Old Christine, Veep, and Seinfeld. She's not only an actress, but a singer and a producer. Pretty cool. Not pretty cool, but she actually was just diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's also very into politics, and she got up on her platform to talk about how we need universal health care, so all women can afford to get their treatments if they are to ever encounter breast cancer like her. I thought that was pretty cool for her to do. Amy Poehler. Alright, so Amy Poehler actually got her start in comedy at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. A lot of the upcoming comedians, or like Aziz Ansari, I've been talking about Abby Jacobson, Alana Glazer, they came up through that. And Amy actually took it over later on in her career after she became successful and everything. She really wanted to keep it going and have a platform for these younger comedians to come up and find their way. But she's also an SNL alum. Her first show was actually the first premiere of SNL after 9/11. They quit doing it for like a couple months after. And she was really nervous. She said in her book, she's like, I didn't know if we would make it, like if the show would even make it. She was very uncertain. It was her first show, and it was fine. This is considered the show that made America laugh again, for obvious reasons. This is the skit. Will Ferrell's in patriotic American flag underwear, and it's pretty recognizable skit. She's not only known for that, but she's in Parks and Rec. She played Leslie Knope. Mean Girls. She played the cool mom. And then she was in Sisters with Tina Fey, and she did a lot of other movies and TV shows. So she's also behind the camera a lot. She's a producer, an executive producer, a writer, and a director. She directs her own episodes and her TV shows. She's amazing. And she's also an author, that's her and Tina, of a New York Times bestseller called Yes Please. Very good read. Very insightful. So Tina Fey. So Tina also got her start at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, that I mentioned, where Amy got her start. And but everyone thinks they met at SNL, but no, they met there. And pretty cool. They came up together. And they were also on SNL together. I think Tina exited before Amy, but they were on it together for the majority of the time. And they were also Mean Girls together and Sisters and Baby Mama. And then Tina had her own TV show called 30 Rock, which she also directed and produced. She also is the producer of Veep, which Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in. She's also an author of the book called Bossy Pants. So pretty cool. Kristen Wiig. Kristen's also an SNL alum. She was on some of the one of the last seasons with Amy, I believe. Also with people like Maya Rudolph and Seth Meyers. She's in Bridesmaids, Ghostbusters, and The Martian. And SNL, one of her famous characters with the small hands. It's one of my favorites. She also did the Penelope, like the surprise party, and Gilly. She's also a writer and producer. She writes and produces a lot of her own sketches and stuff. A lot of these women on SNL, not only did they do the sketches, but they wrote their own. They all got together and wrote them for each other. Pretty cool how they all like come together and be bosses. So Ellen, everyone who's Ellen is like pretty sure. So she hosts the Ellen Show, obviously. So that's 15 seasons in. She's also known for American Idol and Finding Dory and Finding Nemo. Everyone should know who that is. It's the fish. She forgets everything. Also pretty cool. She won the Presidential Medal of Freedom, awarded by Barack Obama. She's very known for being really courageous about her sexuality. She was not one of the first females to come out as lesbian, but she pretty much. In the 90s wasn't common to do that, and she risked a lot by doing so, and she could have lost her career, but she did it, and it paid off. She's pretty darn successful, and she's in her own skin, and she does a lot for the community, not just the LGBT community, but she does a lot of stuff on her show for people, and she's also produces her show, which I think is pretty cool. Love Ellen. Abby Jacobson, and Alana Glazer. So these are like the upcoming people in comedy. You'll see a lot more from these two, I promise. So pretty cool. So Amy, like I said, took over UCB, and she funds and everything. That's the improv theater. So they actually attended that school, and they co-write, produce, and direct a show, Broad City, on Comedy Central. It actually started as a web series, and then Comedy Central took it on, and Amy Poehler got on board. And Amy Poehler executive produces the show, which I think is pretty cool. So I can tell, like, a lot of Amy Poehler's in that. Amy Poehler's my favorite, if you can't tell. And Kate McKinnon, also one of my favorites. She's a current SNL cast member. She, her impressions of Kellyanne Conway are pretty recognizable. Elizabeth Warren, Betsy DeVos, and Jeff Sessions. She obviously had a lot of fun this past election. She's been nominated 5 times for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series at the Emmys. And she was in Sisters and Ghostbusters and Office Party. She's awesome. So, although these women might be different in age and comedic styles, I hope we can continue to celebrate them always for their efforts in comedy. These women do it all, and they should be recognized for it.